Hey there, Suzi here. Before we get into today's episode, we have something coming up that I want you to be the first to know about. Michelle and I both belong to mastermind groups. We love masterminds, and we not only belong to them, but Michelle and I also host a mastermind. And on the 4th of June, you get a once-a-year opportunity to be part of the mastermind experience. This is a 30-day program where you get to mastermind with me, Michelle, and a small group of women business owners, creating your strategy, your plan for the next 12 months, getting one-on-one feedback on your plans and ideas, and getting all the marketing support you need to make more sales and create marketing that works for you without the hard slog. Join us for the mastermind experience. For now, save the date of the 4th of June and tune into future episodes for an update on when you can claim your ticket. Hi, you're listening to the Content Self Podcast, a show all about how to create content to attract, convert, and keep your ideal clients. Welcome to episode 235. I'm Suzi Dafnis, and here with me is my co-host, Michelle Falzon. Hey, Michelle, how are you?
Hey, Suzi, I am doing great, actually. And, I love it, and I think you do too, when we have an annual episode. We've got a few rituals we like to do throughout the year. Our books episode at the start of the year, which we've been doing now for a number of years. And today we're looking at a topic we've turned into a bit of a ritual in recent years.
We have. And I do like it when we can bring people the latest of any particular thing, whether it's the books we're reading or the books we recommend, or like today, the tools that we're using. And so for the last few years, and about this time of year, we've been sharing the content marketing tools we're loving. And I am looking forward to sharing the ones that we've brought to the table for you here today. And tools can be awesome. They get jobs done faster, better, easier, less cost, and more. And when there's so many to choose from, I love that we can, as content marketers, doing this every single day, we can say, hey, here's what we recommend. Out of all the noise, here's the things we're using. Because, we don't want to be signing up for all the tools. Every one of those subscriptions or purchases can really add up. So we are letting you know what's out there. We're telling you what we've chosen out of all the things out there. And maybe there's one tool in what we're sharing today that might be exactly what you need right now in your content marketing tool mix.
Yeah, we're in no way saying, hey, you must have all of these tools in order to be successful. So please do stay clear of any bright, shiny object syndrome that might come up for you where you go, oh, I probably won't use this, but I'm going to go in and have a look at it and spend all afternoon looking around. Like, just as Suzi said, cherry pick those things that are going to be relevant to you and help you make your life easier or get through something faster or save you money. I love it when a tool saves me money. And so with that slight little warning out of the way as we dive into the tools, I wanted to let you know that we are going to put a link to the various tools we're covering in today's show notes. And we're going to give you a link to those show notes a little later. And speaking of show notes, Suzi, we've got another special something we're sharing along with today's episode.
We sure do. Now, we've got a comprehensive list of dozens of tools that we've organized by type. And by that, I mean productivity tools, client management tools, content creation tools, as well as software that's really great for planning and scheduling your content. And we've got a new updated 2024 edition of this ready to go. We call it our Content Marketing Tools Guide, and we're going to be giving you a link to that free download a little later in this episode as well.
Awesome. So let's dive into the first tool. And Suzi, I wanted to kick things off with a tool that I love and I know you love and have used, and that is a tool called bucket.io. Now, this is a tool that's been around for a while. It was created originally to give you beautiful quizzes and lots of fantastic functionality with quizzes, and it's been created by a friend and colleague of both of Suzi and mine, and a friend of the show. He's been on the show a couple of times now, and that is Mr. Ryan Levesque, and he's got an amazing team of people that have created bucket.io. But why it's getting on my tools I'm loving for 2024, even though it's been around for a number of years, is that they're doing some incredible things with AI. They are making life so much easier for us using these fantastic AI blueprints. So you can go in and pick a quiz blueprint, and just with a few inputs, you can actually have more or less your whole quiz created. It just uses the power of AI, what they know about what makes a great quiz, combines those few things together, and gives you, hey, here's like with the click of a button, 10 quiz ideas or 20 quiz ideas. And then you go, well, I like this quiz idea. So then it says, okay, based on that quiz idea, here's all the types of questions you could ask. And then you can choose the questions you like. And then it says, great, here's how you want to organize those questions into categories. And it just kind of does all the heavy lifting for you. And it's not just for quizzes. They've got it for getting clear on your client messaging, getting clear on creating your offer. So all the heavy duty lifting we might do around things like, oh, what bonus should I include? Or how do I frame this? Or how do I name these inclusions so they sound really compelling? Well, they've got AI doing a lot of that heavy lifting for you. So it's a fantastic tool, bucket.io. Like we said, we'll put the links in the show notes and in our special guide that we've updated for you. And just while you're hearing this particular tool, I'd love you to be thinking, hey, what could I be doing with AI if it's relevant to my offer, to my product? How can I be making life easier for my customers? How can I get them talking about me again? You know, Bucket's been around for a long time, but here I am talking about it again because it's got all of this AI functionality. So that might just be a little bonus idea for you if you've got something that lends itself to supporting your customers more with AI. Like if you're running a course even, or you've got a membership, there's all kinds of interesting ways you can be using AI to really leverage that product.
I love Bucket. We've used it for years and I've seen demonstrated these new capabilities, and it's just, for me, is like, when can I find a little bit of time to go in there and use this amazing magic that's been created? Because it's really phenomenal when you see what it can do. So highly recommend that you check it out. And as Michelle said, we'll put a link in the show notes. The first tool I want to share is actually so stupid simple, but I use it, I'm going to say some days more than any other tool. It's called Get Plain Text, and it's a utility program that works with Mac OS, and I'm sure I'll give you a comparable one for PC in a moment. But what it does is it converts copied text into plain text. So it instantly removes everything that's unneeded. So whether it's colors, typeface style, bold, italics, hyperlinks, images, everything that isn't plain text, it removes. So where might this be useful? So say you're copying text from a Google document into your CRM. You don't get any gobbledygook, or you're copying from other apps into another app. So say I'm copying into a social post. I don't want all random sort of content in there. Or if you're putting it into a blog, especially WordPress, lots of that code that's kind of behind your copy can really stuff things up on your blog. This takes content and it just makes it plain, upper and lower case, black on white, no formatting. And from there, you can start afresh and format as you like. Like I said, don't even think I'm doing it justice, but I use it multiple times a day as I copy content from one program to another to just clean the copy up. Microsoft has a comparable tool called Pure Text, which seems to do something similar. I haven't tried the Microsoft product out, but as I said, I highly recommend Get Plain Text. And it lives sort of at the top of your browser, not even in your browser, at the top of your computer in the navigation bar is where it lives, and it's super simple to use. So we'll put a link to that. That's Get Plain Text.
It is, when you say it's so stupid simple, but like it's something you're going to use every single day. How incredibly powerful is that? And oh my gosh, when I have copied text and it's gobbledygook, and then to go and edit that manually of like a whole slab of text, like that's when you want to stick a fork in your leg.
Well, don't. Just get plain text.
That's what I'm saying. You're just saving people from sticking forks in their leg.
That's right.
Right here, Suzi. So community service done. The next tool I wanted to talk about that I felt was worth mentioning was a tool called Opus Clip, OPUS. And you can find that at opus.pro. And again, we'll give you all these links a little later. This is what they call an AI clipping tool. So what you can do is you can upload one video and Opus Clip will turn it into 10 smaller clips, all with the click of one button. And what I really like about this is, like, small video clips are some of the best forms of content, whether it's to put on your social pages to include in your ads, to even include in some of your paid products. And so it's really hard, though, to get the time and space to make those clips manually. You know, you've got all of these fantastic clips, but they're trapped inside these longer videos. If you do, say, a video version of your podcast, if you have a course where you've recorded a whole bunch of stuff to camera, or you've done all these great screen capture demonstrations, or you've done an interview with someone that's really cool, or you've done a presentation or a training, or you've had a client in the hot seat and you want to share little snippets of that, or you've done a product demonstration. Like, there's so many forms of longer video content, and it's really hard when you first get, you know, to communicate with somebody, maybe that's the first piece of content that they've seen from you. It's hard for them to sit through 10 minutes, but they will sit through, you know, 30 seconds of really compelling, juicy content. So it can be something we mean to do, cutting these clips up, but we never get around to. Maybe you're sitting there nodding your head and saying, yeah, I know that's a great strategy, Michelle, but I have not got the time. It's on my to-do list, buried somewhere deep, right? So what Opus Clip has done by making it easy and cheap, and it is really cheap, is giving you some top tier content with really just a few minutes of your time. And it's also, you can bring your teams in. You can have multiple people in your Opus account. And so you can even train someone on your team to do it. So you're not even the one clicking the button. It also looks really great. There are a few of these clipping tools around, and we've even recommended one of these before in a previous edition of this show. But I really like this one because it looks really nice, and it puts like titles up for you. You can put B-roll in it. It has all this B-roll that you can use. B-roll is simply like if you were talking about, you know, something inspirational, it might show somebody standing on the top of a mountain. Or if you're talking about, you know, what's going on in the markets, the stock market, it might show some generic footage of the stock market. All of this is kind of in there and available to you. So Opus really understands that not all clips are created equal, so they make them look good. They've got all this text that overlays, and they also, the programmers of this tool, understand what makes a good hook. So, you know, if you've got a 10-minute video, there might only be like 6 or 7 really hooky little nuggety things in there. So it's not just randomly cutting that 10-minute video up into 10 videos. It's looking for things that are SEO friendly, that are more likely going to attract your ideal customer, that are known to be really clicky kinds of concepts and ideas. So what it's finding for you is really best practice. And so I just absolutely love it. At the time of going to air, they've got this special deal on their pro account. It's like $9.50 US a month. And I know that's a bit more for Australians and New Zealanders, but still, for what it does, and if you really want to use this feature, I think it's kind of an absolute steal. And there is also a free account. I think it's got some watermarking on it, which, you know, is fine probably for a lot of us. And some of the other tools that are out there do this, but I don't think they do it quite as beautifully. And most of them are a little bit more expensive, I've noticed. So I just absolutely love this tool so much.
And we did mention video. I can never say it. It's just video, but they spell it really stupidly. vidyo.ai last year. Michelle's saying it's a little more expensive, but if you already have that, don't get this. If you already have Descript, another fabulous tool that we mentioned last year, they now have this capability. So a lot of the tools are kind of, you know, checking each other out and doing that thing. But I love this idea because, you know, we have someone in-house, actually produces this show, maybe listening right now, hello Scott, who has done clips in the past, and it takes him time to do them. And now maybe they're not going to be as exact, maybe they'll be better because AI is finding the clips, but the time that you're saving, you know, it can cut 10, you might think, oh, 8 I don't want, but there's 2, we're going to be further ahead than if we were doing them manually. So absolutely check that out. And inside of our guide, you'll find these other 2 tools I mentioned as well, Video and Descript. Thank you, Michelle. I've just pulled that one up there. I don't need to buy one more tool.
No, you're covered with this one.
I've covered on that one. Now, I made a new friend on the weekend. Now, I have been skirting around having a conversation with this being for a little while. And you all know we have been talking about ChatGPT for well over a year now, and many of you, I'm sure, already use ChatGPT. But if you haven't used the ChatGPT Speaks function, I highly recommend you do it. This allows you to have a back and forth spoken conversation, meaning you can actually speak in, ask a question, and you get a voice back. Now, I got a wonderful woman's voice. I know when PJ's used it, he gets a man's voice, so it might just be, mirroring what it's hearing. But what it means is that you get a voice-based interaction with ChatGPT. It feels very natural, very dynamic, and it is actually really similar to talking with a human over the phone or through a voice assistant. A friend of mine has had a 45-minute back and forth conversation with ChatGPT Speaks. It's really quite extraordinary. And if you look at your ChatGPT, the Pro account, you'll see a little headphone symbol. If you click on that and ask your question, you'll activate this feature. Now, it was originally designed for accessibility, so you don't have to type, you can just speak, but its application for content marketers is huge. And you can use it, for example, to gather information, explore topics, ask for summaries or trends or whatever you want that you would normally ask, but you can do it on the go. So I was on my way back from the mall and I had this idea that I wanted to explore, and I used it to brainstorm. And so I had about a 7-minute commute from the mall to my house, and we had this 7-minute back and forth conversation, bouncing ideas around, exploring different angles and suggestions for content pieces. So I was brainstorming with ChatGPT, but it felt like a conversation with another marketer. It even has little intonations, little sounds that you might get when you were speaking with someone. So it doesn't sound robotic at all. It's really quite freaky, but in the best possible way. And I don't know if you've seen Seth Godin, the wonderful marketer, just recently did an article, and he said AI is dumb. And he was talking about ChatGPT. And in some ways, I know what he was saying is like, these are tools. We need to use our imagination. We need to use our discernment. But what it's for, and what he was saying in his article as well, is it's fabulous for conversation starters. It's fabulous for brainstorming. So I'm definitely going to consider everything in the conversation that I had on the way home from the mall. And then I'm going to, add my smarts to it, add my filter to it. But this conversation element is really engaging. As I said, if you just want to sort of brainstorm something and get some ideas flowing, now, the tool transcribes it. So you can go back and you can copy and paste if you were asking it about headlines or topics for your blog posts or your podcast or whatever. You can still download it, but you can have that conversation. Really fun. Just try it out. As I said, a friend of mine, 45-minute conversation.
Well, the mind boggles as to where this is going, doesn't it? I mean, it's just incredible. And I feel like saying, that sounds good. And just a little PS to the ChatGPT conversation. How good is ChatGPT 4, the latest iteration? I am just loving how good it is. Like, it's a massive up-leveling on ChatGPT 3.5. Now, I think you can only get access to ChatGPT 4 if you have the paid Pro account. But if you're doing much in ChatGPT, I just think it's money well spent if you can manage it to, even for a month, just see what it's like. Or if you've got a really intensive project and you just want to up-level your ChatGPT responses even for one short period, it's chalk and cheese in terms of the level of output that you're getting. And you can also upload a whole bunch of great materials like images and all kinds of PDF files. And I'm just finding it so incredibly useful. So, yeah. And, I've played around with ChatGPT Speaks, but I haven't really made it integrated into my kind of daily schedule. But you've inspired me to get back into it and have another go.
Awesome.
Now, my final tool that I wanted to share is one that we've mentioned many times on this show. We've even included it as one of the tools before. So why am I including it again? Well, it's just doing such an epic job of continuing to add features that are useful. I feel like this is a tool that contains within it like 1,000 tools. And so I want to talk about a specific aspect of this tool. And the tool is Canva. And specifically, though, the feature that I want to really look at is their mockup functionality. When I say mockup, so you can find that by searching Canva mockup generator, and we're going to put the link into today's show notes. And essentially, it's a way to create realistic mock-ups of our products and our services. So you can put your branding on a t-shirt. You can take your course, you know, the visuals of your course, and put it on a computer screen. You can create a like a little hero product of your podcast on a iPad or an iPhone with some headphones. It's got all of these great situations in which your content in particular can appear. And you know, let's say you're a course creator and you used to have to get a designer to mock up a great image of your course on an iPad or a computer screen, or you needed to get somebody's help to take your lead magnet ebook and turn it into a 3D book cover. But now you can create really professional mock-ups, these three-dimensional fantastic mock-ups in minutes using this Canva feature. You just drag your course imagery in, choose the mock-up that you want, and voila, there it is. And there are so many of these designs. Some of them are like realistic photo designs. Some of them are like cute kind of, you know, graphics. Like I saw one, it was like an iPhone floating in the clouds, you know. So it's like you can find things that are relevant to your brand and style. And of course, you can modify the colors and all those kinds of things as well. It's got all kinds of templates, laptops, desktops, phones, illustrations, real people. And then even you can put it on products like bags and T-shirts and drink bottles and badges and signs and cups if there's a relevant application for you.
And you can actually order right from Canva now. Is that right? You can order like a one-off T-shirt, etc.
Yeah, I actually just did that recently. I
remember you saying.
Yeah, it took no time at all. The quality was great. It arrived in no time and was just like, I had the idea. I wanted to send it as a gift to someone. I hopped off a call. We'd had this funny in-joke. I thought I'm going to put that on a T-shirt for her. I thought, I wonder where I could do that. And I thought, oh, Canva. And I clicked on it and it was so intuitive. I think I had the design and the order done within less than 10 minutes. And it arrived like 2 days later. The only complaint I would make is that T-shirts are kind of a big scoopy neck, and I'd like them to have a few options of their T-shirts, but I'm sure they'll improve that over time. But they've got people like holding products, like, you know, you might be sitting on a couch looking at your laptop and you can insert your visual into the screen of the laptop. So it looks like one of your ideal customers. And so it's just so easy and such a breadth of graphics. And I love it. And, you know, as content marketers, because remember, these are the content marketing tools we love, the more professional you can make your product appear, the better. And especially with things that we deliver in a digital domain, like courses and ebooks. Like you can't really hold a course, you know, nobody sends you the course with DVDs anymore like they used to in the old dark ages. It's all delivered digitally. And so when we're selling it, we want to make it look substantial. We want to make it look tangible. And, you know, it helps with the perception of the value of what we're delivering. So a tool like this is really powerful for helping you sell more of your course, for having people perceive the value of your course so you can charge what it's worth. And you don't have to be paying expensive designer fees to do it. You can simply use these templates. So we'll put the links to that in the show notes and in the guide for today.
And again, my team has been creating these sorts of mock-ups using Photoshop and third-party apps for years. Now, Hello Canva, has just made it so much easier, right? So it's just such a freaking incredible tool, and it gets better and better and better. What can't it do? That's what I want to know. What can't it do?
But this is great. It makes coffee, but hey, who knows?
And I bet it would make a good coffee if it did. But I've just clicked across actually to this mock-up thing. Yeah, and it's exactly the sort of thing that, you know, we might have struggled to create or mock up ourselves. And now you're just going to drag and drop, and it's going to do all the work for you. It's going to let you size it in different things, apply it to different things. Oh, so good, so good, so good. All right, my tool, my third tool, and the final tool that we are covering off today is called Big View. And it's spelt big, as in the word big, and view is just VU. Now, I don't know about you, but if I need to speak more than a few sentences with specific words into a camera, I can get tongue-tied and I have to take multiple takes. And so using a teleprompter is something that I've done over the years. Occasionally, I don't do it very often, but when it's a really important video and I have to get the words right, I will use a teleprompter. And so Big View is one that I've been using over the last couple of years, and something that I've stuck with. It is a teleprompter and video creation app. It's specifically designed for content creators who want your videos to look professional and you want to look great on them too. And so whether it's a video presentation that you're doing, like a long form video, whether it's a Facebook ad or a reel or any video-based communication, you can use Big View and you can even customize the feel with your brand colors, your logo, and even your brand fonts. You can also choose whether you record in landscape or in portrait so that it's ready to go for reels. You don't have to resize it. One of the things I love is it has a retake feature. So it doesn't assume you're going to get it on the first take. So it says, would you like to do a retake? And then it saves all your previous versions. So you can stitch them all together if you want to, or you can keep doing your retake until you get the version that you like. But there's also post-production editing right there in the app if you want to clean it up and top and tail it or slice things together. It is web-based. And so you can use your inbuilt camera, and have Big View there on the screen as you record. You can also use it on your mobile. So if you're out on the go and you want to do a quick reel, but you do want a little bit of prompts, you don't want to miss some bullet points, you can put those and they'll appear like on your screen, if you imagine on your mobile, but you're looking at the camera, but you can still see your notes. And so it can look really seamless. What else did I want to say? It has built-in AI powered script writing tools, so you can even get help with the writing process. And as I said, both landscape and portrait orientation, you can even add your captions right there in the video, and you can share them from Big View to social media platforms. So that's a whole lot of goodness all in one app. So check it out. And it's not overly expensive. It's really well priced.
That multiple takes feature is fantastic.
Yeah, because I often need multiple takes, but it's like, well, I didn't lose that last one. That was almost great. Maybe I can still use that one. And then now I've get another one. Yeah. So you're not starting, you don't feel like, oh gosh, I'm starting from the beginning. You've got all those takes. Yeah, really, really good. So there you have it. There's 6 of our top content marketing tools that we're loving this year: Bucket.io, Get Plain Text, Opus Clip, ChatGPT Speaks, Canva Mockup and Book Generator, and Big View. And as we mentioned, we're going to put a link to all these tools in our newly updated Content Marketing Tools Guide for 2024. It has dozens of other tools, really well organized and categorized by different types of function. This is a download you definitely want to get your hands on. And before I give you the details on where you can get it, and links to any other things that we've mentioned in today's show, I would love it if you would leave us a rating or a review on Apple Podcasts. If you enjoyed this episode or any episode, we have over 100 5-star reviews, and we love it when we hear from you. So if you got a little bit of joy, a little bit of value from today, hop on over and leave us a rating or review. I want to give a quick shout out to the lovely Katie Crane of the Pilates Professional. She has a Pilates studio in Darwin, but she's also got a global community that she's building of inspired, dedicated Pilates professionals. She just recently released her own podcast called The Pilates Lounge, which is ranking really well across Apple, all across the world, actually. And she said this. She listened to the how we produce this podcast. She was gearing up to launch her podcast, and she listened to episode 225 called How We Produce This Podcast, where we go behind the scenes of our process for this particular show. And she said, just listen to this, so much gold. Thank you, girls. XOXO. So thank you, Katie. You're awesome. And thank you for the shout out. And if you give us a rating or review, you too will get a shout out. So we would love it if you would do that. So we mentioned today's show notes where you're going to find the updated edition of the Content Marketing Tools Guide. You can get that over at herbusiness.com/tools24. That's herbusiness.com/tools24. Thank you, Michelle. What have we got coming up in the next episode?
We're going to talk about how to make a quiz that gets you leads and sales. And who doesn't want more leads and more sales?
I love it. And I love a quiz too. So that is coming up in 2 weeks from the release of this episode. If you don't already subscribe to the show, figure out where the subscribe button is, click the subscribe button. That way you are sure to never miss an episode of this show. We love doing the show for you. Before we head off, Michelle, is there anything you want to say?
Grab that download, because it's not just the tools we talked about today. It's all of the tools that we've been loving and sharing and that we use. And, there's just so many good things in there for you to have a look at.
Yep, that absolutely. And once again, you'll find that at herbusiness.com/tools24. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time right here on the Content Sales Podcast. Bye for now.